Welcome to the Word Nest, where stories take flight. I'm your host, Amelia, here with my co-host, Mariah. And in today's quick and dirty minisode, we are going to give you some tips for what to do if you are stuck in the middle of your manuscript.
Oh,
the beginning, or the end. At any point in
anywhere.
your manuscript. Yeah. Mariah, you want to start us off?
Sure. So I'm actually stealing some advice that Amelia gave me many eons ago.
She pre-approved this with me, and I was like, I don't know what advice you're talking about.
But she told me this once, and it literally changed the way that I write. And she said, when you're stuck, just write one true thing. And, so I'll do that. I'll be like, okay, what is the one true thing that's happening in the scene? Whether it's emotional, whether it has to do with moving the plot, what's the true thing here? And then you just write one more true thing. And then you just keep going. And eventually, you'll find your way back to due north. You know, you'll get your groove back. That has tended to work very well for me.
Most of my best writing advice actually comes from Ernest Hemingway. I've never read a Hemingway book. I've read one single short story, but every piece of advice that I go back to, I can often trace back to Hemingway. And so this is no different. He said something like, when I can't write, I just write one true sentence and the words flow from there. And if I recall correctly, based on context clues, he meant true and beautiful.
Right.
But I take it to literally just mean factual. So just write down a fact that's happening.
Sometimes all you need is fact.
Yeah. And usually all the rest flows from there. Because a lot of times, when you're stuck, you're just stuck.
Yeah.
And you're in your own head about it. So yeah, my first piece of advice, thus, is plow forward.
Get her done.
Yeah.
Sorry, we watch a lot of Cars in this house. The movie Cars?
I know you meant the movie Cars. That's not where I know it from.
Yeah, the guy who plays Mater. That is his.
He is him. Okay.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but whenever I hear Mater, that is all I hear in my head.
I actually only recently learned that Mater's name is Tow Mater, so I've never seen Cars. Don't come at me. I'm a Disney adult, but don't look at me.
My kid would weep if she had that knowledge. She would be like, no, we're watching it now.
Well, maybe I'll come watch Cars, okay? But yeah, sometimes you are just in your own head and you just have to keep writing. I don't want to wax poetic on our little tiny episode, but I think there are two causes of writer's block. One, actual problems, and two, mental problems. And if your problem is a mental problem, you just kind of have to go. The only way out is through.
Right.
That philosophy has served me well.
Just do it. My second piece of advice is make sure you're not stuck in the middle of the book sag. Other people also call this the soggy middle, which I think is hideous. So I call it the middle of the book sag. Yeah. I don't like the word soggy for any reason. Never will I write that word in a story or anything. But anyway, so some ways to make sure that you're not just getting lost in that kind of no man's land of the middle is are your subplots developed? Are your stakes very clear? Is your character following an emotional journey? Just kind of do a temperature check and make sure that you have all of these elements woven through. And if so, if you're okay, my stakes are clear, my character has a great emotional journey, but I really did forget about the subplot, there you go. You might have to reevaluate there.
Well, and even simpler than that, one question you can ask yourself is, what is driving the story? Is it my character or is it external events? And you want a good mix of them, but if you are suddenly finding yourself and your character is just having all these random encounters and you're this is what's moving the story forward, and you find yourself stuck because you've been relying on random encounters instead of your character's agency, that could be a major thing that is stopping you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that kind of ties into my second piece of advice, which is to stop what you're doing, stop writing, go back and find the last part you thought made sense. wherever you are feeling good and consider if you need to restart from there. I have to do this all the time. I actually just all these episodes are so out of whack because we just filmed one where I gave an update on writing, but basically since then, which will be after you see this, I've deleted my entire novel.
the whole thing.
Most of it. It wasn't it.
That's terrifying.
Sometimes you have to kill your darlings.
That's true. That is true. You're brave, my friend.
Well, it wasn't working, and I'm the worst about writing advice because, like, my clients always be like, well, what do you do when you're stuck? And I'm like,
quit.
Nothing.
Just
like,
kidding.
Do as I say, not as I do. But I'm very much like, I write with my gut, and so, like, if my gut is like, this is bad, then I'm like, well, you're correct. Yeah. I wouldn't think that if it wasn't bad. So, so yeah, it just wasn't working for me for a number of reasons that I could articulate, but I'm not going to because we're not here for that.
We're not doing that right now.
Yeah, I deleted. I left myself with probably like 3,000 words undeleted.
Okay.
Out of like 20,000. So.
Okay. I'm sorry that happens,
okay.
But I'm glad that you figured it out now instead of 60,000 words in.
I mean, that's kind of where I was at. Is, you know, there's a point where most people have to rewrite their beginnings, but I was like, I'm getting too deep now. Yeah. Like, I shouldn't be in the rewrite zone at this time.
Yeah.
So, sometimes you gotta know. And remember, you don't have to delete it. You can just move it to another document.
That's true.
Then it's there forever.
It can live somewhere else, just not here.
Exactly.
So, my last piece of advice for today is don't be afraid to bring in another set of eyes. So even if you're not having like a buddy look over the physical manuscript, like just having somebody that you can bounce ideas off of and ask advice from, I think is like one of the most important aspects of being a writer. Like if we talk about the writer's toolbox, like to me, that's a big tool. You're going to use it all the time. And if you're like, oh, you know, I don't really have a writing community, like get on Reddit, get on Tumblr, get on, I don't know.
Find a Discord?
Book Talk? Like, yeah, like there are so many avenues.
Find each other in our comments.
Yeah. Let's all hang out online, write our stuff together. But I do think like it will revolutionize the way that you problem solve and troubleshoot your manuscript.
Yeah, I would be worse off if I did not have my partner around for me to, every time I have like a thought in my head, to be like, hold on a sec. Let me talk your ear off. So that does bring us to my third one, which is if you are at the moment, you know, you don't have a writing buddy who you feel really meshes with your actual plot. I believe this term is from coding. My partner uses it, and so now I use it, and it's called rubber duckying. And basically, I believe the background is that coding is so complicated that coders have to only talk to other coders. And so in the absence of that, they talk to a rubber duck. So you don't have to literally talk to a rubber duck. When I rubber ducky at my friend, who is not a writer, but she will say things like, wow, so interesting, gasp. Which is enough. That is enough for me. And sometimes I just do it myself. A lot of times I'll go into a Word document and I'll just start like stream of conscious writing my thoughts. You know, like, why is he doing this? What is the purpose of this? What if this happens? And then I go and answer myself, you know, but I'm not trying to make a planning document. I'm not writing an outline. I'm literally just like word vomiting into a document until I get myself into some sort of groove where I know what's going on.
You're journaling.
Yeah, basically. This can be incredibly helpful. Like, if you just go with the idea that I've noticed a lot of writers put pressure on themselves to do things the right way for something that's never going to be seen. No one's going to see your planning documents.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, and if they do, that's because you showed it to them.
Yeah. Or it's because you got super famous and then you died and then somebody found it like in your work desk and they were like, now we're going to make money.
And in which case they'll think you're brilliant.
Yeah, that's so true. So everything you will ever have penned down, people will study it and be like, how can I be like you?
And if they find your insane ramblings where you never document yourself.
Well, and I will say, That is a practice I have fallen out of. I know NaNoWriMo doesn't exist anymore, but like way back in the day when I did NaNoWriMo, what helped me just to get through it was like at the end of every day, I had a special notebook and I would do a check-in with myself. So not only would I talk about like how many words I wrote, how I felt about the writing that day. Like, I would also just kind of, like, chit-chat of, like, you know, like I'm writing a letter to somebody. Like, oh, these are the things that I feel like went really well today. These are the things that I'm kind of on the fence about. And, like, this is something that might end up being a problem for later. But even just doing that can help you kind of, like, tune into, like, you don't want to be editing at this stage. But, like, you get that kind of, like, okay, well, you know, I was feeling kind of, like, wibbly on, like, the best friend's, like, backstory or whatever. So, like, maybe I need to put a little bit more thought into that as I'm getting back to the page. Or whatever it could be.
Also, sometimes you need to cut that best friend. I have cut so many characters in my novel, and that is why I keep having to restart. The reason that I had to restart was because the book that I started writing has changed so much since I started writing it that, like, I could not access my gut feelings anymore. Right. So I have to start anew.
Right.
Don't be like me.
Don't be me.
Don't be me.
Only I can be me.
if you can write, like, if you write long enough, I'm certain that you'll also be able to do that. But, like, don't listen to what I do. It's not helpful. It's not good.
Well, that's a hilarious thing for us to end this advice video.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, that's it. That's our advice. So let us know if you have methods that work for you. Maybe they'll work for me and my insane, terrible writing habits. And tell us if you try anything, and make friends in the comments.
Oh, yeah. Let's all hang out.
Yeah. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps us out. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you for our next big full episode. Episode.
Yeah.
Full size episode.
That big ol' episode.